Welcome to the November report for 2016. It's not too cold down here at the minute because I've got my radiator sitting down here, which is quite nice, although the other side of me is freezing cold. So, either way. The shed is in the process of being kind of shut down for the winter, because I think I said before I don't intend to be down here kind of November, December time if I don't have to. So that's why you're at this angle instead of at that angle, because there's a load of stuff on my desk I need to get sorted. So, first things first, I'm not going to mention the elephant in the room, but I'm going to apologise for Nigel Farage, because he's obviously the Antichrist, and he's trying to get in over there, and I pretty much reckon that within about 7 weeks' time, someone's going to hit the button. Whether it's Trump or whether it's Farage, I don't quite know, but I don't know what Farage thinks he's doing. He's no one in England likes him. So he goes to America and finds the worst possible politician to meet up with. So January's going to be interesting. I'll leave it at that. So, this weekend just gone, Mum dragged me out for some Black Friday shopping on Saturday, and it was disappointingly empty in Romford. A couple of shops were a bit kind of elbows at dawn and, forcing away through. Most of them were really not. It was not at all busy. So, I don't think Black Friday really came, not to Romford at least. But, oh well, it's a good thing. I'm not buying Christmas presents this year, I'm making most of them, so that does make things a little bit easier. And a little bit cheaper as well. Although being dragged around Rockford to be the bag carrier is never particularly enjoyable, even when it's not Black Friday. Some time ago I made a Stacker Cat and a Stacker Shop, and I sent the Stacker Shop to a famous YouTube chap in California, and he has since got back to me and sent me a sticker and a nice email, and we've had some email communication. So I've made a friend on YouTube, which is great. That's a start. I'm not sure whether it's feasible to keep sending stuff out to various YouTubers in the hopes of getting kind of plugs on their channels, which might be doable, but I'm not sure that's the kind of thing I want to be doing. I don't mind if he mentions me. I would like him to mention me at some point. Peter, take the hint. But I don't want to be heavily plugged. Not at this point. I'm not good enough to warrant being kind of pushed forward like that. So, indeed, I've got about 10 subscribers at the minute, and that'll do for a year. I hope to be about 50 by this time next year. Maybe 75, something like that. But, just gradually building up the stuff. I think because I do so much, or so many different things, that I'm not going to get the big groups in. I'm not going to get all the woodworkers in because I only do a little bit of woodwork. I'm not going to get all the fabric and textiles people because I only do a little bit of that. So I'm a difficult person to pigeonhole, I think. But that makes me more interesting. There's always something new every week, so I'm never going to repeat myself. I'm never going to get bored, hopefully. So, yeah, looking up for next year as things continue. So, as I said, I'm not going to be down here for December and January, although I've filmed a lot of stuff for September and January from the shed already. But the best to be prepared, I think, rather than coming down last minute, freezing my backside off down here. So, I've got my big project on the go, about halfway through another Veneer Mountain. So I'm halfway through a Veneer Mountain scroll saw type project, which, depending on when I put it on, should be either on yesterday. Can't remember, because I did it at some silly time last night, so I'm not sure if I even got it online. So it might be on yesterday. If not, I'll check it before I put this one up and put it on today. So that'll be the first part of 3 on that project, which should cover me through to February, when I'm probably going to be back in the shed. So there's that. There's also my Secret Santa project, which has been interesting, but I'm not going to put it up yet because the person is going to may be watching these videos. So it's a nice gift, shall we say? Although it's cost me some in injuries and things. So that sounds a bit dramatic. I tore up my thumbnail whilst trying to saw a box in half. So yeah, it wasn't pleasant. I've got an interesting manicure going on, but that is the nature of woodwork. My fingernails never grow particularly long anyway, and these are particularly bad at present, but never mind. Don't very much in the way of nail varnish or anything, but I think I'm wearing nail varnish in this video that's going up, but never mind. Right, so I'm also kind of, whilst trying to shut up, I'm trying to prepare bits and pieces for the last craft fair of the year, which is Saturday. And something I didn't expect is that my bibs sold like crazy last time out. So I made 50 in August, and they sold in the first two craft fairs. So I'm now making another 50 and some more aprons because they went as well. So it was pretty good in terms of craft fair, but I wasn't expecting them to go that fast. So that's something I need to think about more for later on, and do more of that kind of thing, as well as the boxes and the chocolates and everything else I'm doing. So yeah, I'm not really ranting today. I had a small rant earlier on, but it's out of my hands. So if the world ends in January, so be it. But I've got my videos made up till the end of January, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, only 2 videos coming out this week or so. Obviously the project video either late last night or today, and one dragon food next week, which is going to be a take on mince pies. I think everyone does their own version of mince pies. Everyone does their own variation on making their own homemade mince meat, how they do the pastry, if they do a pasty, if they do a pie, if they do a tart, yeah, that kind of thing. But mine is slightly different, and they've been quite enjoyable the last couple of years. So here's that coming up. So yeah, I didn't really plan this out. I wrote a couple of things down, but I didn't really plan out what I was going to say for this one. Which is probably better. If I haven't planned it, I can't go off piece too much. If that makes sense. Right, so thank you very much, Peter. Nice to hear from you again. It'd be nice. Although we've emailed and responded, so all good. So yeah, I'm going to finish up with my sewing projects. Hopefully, when I get the aprons and bibs done, or sewn today, and then turned and pressed and finished tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting. But I intend to be out of this shed by Friday, if at all possible. So it's kind of goodbye from the Dragon Shed, but I'll see you again soon. So have a nice Christmas, everybody, and I will probably do my first video of the year on New Year's Day, if I get around to it. And I'm thinking up some New Year's resolutions, which will be interesting, because I've got a list of 50 so far, and I need to really condense them down to someone to make sense. So yeah, I'll see you